That music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is at the center of a federal investigation, according to a source familiar with the matter, after authorities raided his homes in Los Angeles and Miami yesterday. The source says Combs is facing allegations involving sex trafficking, sexual assault, illegal narcotics, and firearms. 3 law enforcement sources familiar with the warrant say that Homeland Security officials also seized phones from Combs yesterday in Miami before he was scheduled to depart for a trip to the Bahamas. It's unclear if he actually made that trip. Combs' representatives did not respond to NBC News' request for comment. It's the latest development after several women filed lawsuits against Combs, alleging that he sexually assaulted them. Diddy's former longtime girlfriend, Cassie, filed the first lawsuit in November and settled with him just 1 day later. At the time, Combs' attorney said that the settlement was in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Just last month, a producer who worked for Combs sued, alleging that Combs sexually harassed, drugged, and threatened him for more than a year. Combs has denied the allegations in all of those lawsuits. Let's bring in NBC News contributor and analyst Jim Kavanaugh. He's also a retired ATF special agent in charge and former hostage negotiator for the ATF. So, 4 law enforcement sources told NBC News that federal agents with Homeland Security investigations executed the search warrants. What do we know about this branch of DHS?
Well, they're called HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, and basically they grew it out of the old Customs Service Special Agents and Immigration Agents, because the Department of Homeland Security, when it was created, took over those functions, Customs and Immigration combined. And so what HSI does is basically they, stop the illegal trade in things and people, mostly that are coming across the border. But they are experts in sex trafficking and human trafficking, which often, Joe, involves smuggling of immigrants to exploit them. So they're experts at those laws, and they're very good at child pornography and people who travel for child sex exploitation. And that's likely why they became involved in the case with Mr. Combs, because there's allegations of sexual exploitation or sex trafficking. So, that's probably why they're involved and they're leading the investigation.
So what would lead authorities to conduct raids of this size and searches like this? What is it investigators are looking for even?
Yeah, in a sex trafficking case, things might have happened months or years ago. They're looking for, electronic data, computers, cell phones, and records that may prove the allegations of sexual trafficking or assault. Of course, there could be allegations involving other commodities, too. Sometimes that happens, drugs or illegal weapons. But it has to be addressed in the search warrant. So when the affidavits for the search warrants at both locations are unsealed in public, then you have to look and see what exactly was described to be seized by the court. Mm-hmm.
And Jim, the fact that they're conducting raids right now, does that tell us where they might be in the investigation and what might be the next steps then?
Yes, I mean, they feel like they have something they might can charge. Criminal activity definitely, they believe, was afoot. They have to provide that affidavit to a federal judge, a magistrate judge. He allows the searches to go forward under his authority. Then they collect the evidence, and then they look at the evidence. Now, charges don't always come after search warrants. They may not find any evidence of what was alleged, or they may find some. So then the investigators at HSI and the U.S. attorneys, prosecutors will have to look at the facts and decide if there's a chargeable offense that's actually provable.
All right, Jim Kavanaugh, appreciate your expertise this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.